It all comes down to this. Your final paper in English 122 is a research analysis essay. What does that mean? Well, let's take a look at the prompt and see if we can make that a little bit more clear. When you log into the classroom, you're going to see the explanation of the goal of the assignment. Make sure to read through that. A little bit of a video that gives you a little bit more information about how to structure your writing in this final paper in English 122. You've noticed this research arc. It's been something we've pointed out in the week 2 and week 3 assignments in this class, and it really is a way to show that the progression of your assignments in this class all lead to this final paper. What you did in week 2 on the source critique essay was to interact with a particular source. In week 3, you created an outline, and that outline really expanded your thinking on that particular source by giving you an opportunity to locate other sources. This is the outline template from week 3, and this is literally the roadmap for how you will build your week 5 final paper. You have a thesis that talks about the particular issue that you're exploring. You're going to include that in the introduction to give the reader some more background, and then you're going to have 3 body paragraphs. Each body paragraph is going to deal with one source that contributes information to this overall topic or idea that you're exploring. Don't forget your conclusion, a separate final paragraph that will summarize the ideas expressed in the essay. Back in week 3 on the outline template, you've got APA templates that you can follow to make sure that you're formatting that material correctly. So if week 3 was the roadmap, week 5 is where you really put that together. But again, let's be clear about what you're doing here. You're identifying a topic or an issue. You're going to make that clear in your introduction. Then you're going to have 3 sources, 3 articles that are about that particular topic or issue. But it's your job in the paper to show how those individual sources contribute to an overall understanding of the topic. You're going to give background in the introduction. Each body paragraph is going to follow the same formula. They're going to be very different, but they're going to follow the same formula. You're going to discuss a source article, identify the article, tell me what it is, where it came from, and then you're going to describe the perspective that's presented in the article. To do that, you're going to summarize the findings and explicitly show how those findings contribute to a broader understanding of the topic. Do the same thing for the next body paragraph with Article 2, the same thing again in Article 3, or in body paragraph 3, which is focused on Article 3. Then you've got your conclusion. Now really in an essay like this, where you're analyzing research that you've conducted, your introduction and your conclusion paragraph are going to do a lot of heavy lifting. You're going to make sure that your introduction clearly articulates the broader perspective, what you're trying to say about the overall topic. Your thesis is going to help you do that, but the introductory paragraph is going to give a little bit more detail. The body paragraphs then, your interaction with the research, is where you prove the individual points that you're trying to make. You prove them by providing support, and that's what those sources do. They give you a way to support the ideas that you're presenting. But the conclusion is like the equal sign. You return to the ideas that you presented in your introduction, and you show that after the development of the body paragraphs, your perspective on the issue is valid. It's clearer because you've been able to show the support. You've been able to provide information. Remember, the different notebooks you've completed in this class have shown you different ways to integrate research. You can paraphrase your findings. You can also use quotes from the sources. And I definitely want to see that in this final paper. The quotes should be integrated within your own writing. What I mean by that is that you're never going to just drop a quote completely into your paper. A complete quote from someone else's paper should never be a complete sentence in your own paper. You're going to have to find a way to integrate that. And that's one of the things we talked about on the writing notebooks. You can revisit that resource if you need a little bit of extra insight into that. But that's going to be crucial to helping the reader understand what you're trying to say. At the end of the whole thing here, you're going to make sure to submit this to Folio, but you also, of course, want to submit it to Waypoint for grading. All the information is here. And there's a lot of other resources packed into this as well. I just kind of wanted to blitz through this week 5 final paper in English 122, the research analysis essay, because I think it's important to realize that the information that you're putting together here in the paper isn't brand new. You're not coming up with this paper from scratch at the end of the class. Week 2's written assignment gave you kind of a dry run, kind of a practice run for how this paper will be developed, because in week 2, you interacted with one source. Week 5, you're interacting with 3 sources. You're bringing different voices into the paper and you're integrating them to make a point about your particular topic or issue. One of the sources in week 5 will be the same as the source you used in week 2. So a lot of the material you generated for week 2 is going to find a new home here in the week 5 final paper. You're going to, of course, revise and edit to make sure that it fits this new context and to take any feedback into consideration. In week 3, when you develop the outline, you really created the roadmap for what this week 5 final paper is going to look like. You will go back to that outline and your instructor's feedback to construct this week 5 final paper. All the pieces are on the board in front of you. What you need to do is put in the time, put in the effort, put in the energy to really bring this all together, write a dynamic and powerful final paper in English 122, and complete the class. Good luck.